request to do it again at a later time this evening. So I want to honor those requests. This is also going to be taped. So if you forget something or miss something, then you can go online on YouTube tomorrow and rewatch it. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming, and we're going to get started. My contact information, if you have any questions, is info@stockswoosh.com, and you can see a bunch of videos that I've done on my YouTube site, which is called Stock Swoosh. I also have a Facebook page and a Twitter account and a group on LinkedIn called Gap Traders, which you can feel free to join. This evening I'm going to talk about, before we discuss anything about gaps, it's always good to discuss why trade? Why might you want to trade? Why might you want to consider trading? And if you already are a trader, to consider why you're trading. Sometimes we get involved with trading and we start and we spend years studying how to do this thing, and we forget, why are we doing this thing? Why trade the stock market? You can do it for part-time income. You can do it for full-time income. You can do it for savings or retirement money. A very good idea. Especially in this kind of economy, the way things are going, people don't even have 401k plans anymore like they used to. People don't have pensions. Companies don't even offer pensions like they used to 20 years ago. My grandparents have huge pensions. Companies don't offer those things to employees anymore. So what do we have to do? We have to take it upon ourselves to think and plan for the future about saving for our retirement. Trading is interesting and fun. However, ultimately, trading is about making money. Know your number one reason for trading before you begin. This will help you set your goals. It is extremely important to get clear on your goals for trading, why you want to do this, where you want to go, and if you're already trading, think about what your real goals are and ask yourself if you're achieving those goals. Are you moving towards those goals? Have you achieved those goals? If not, maybe it's time to review. Maybe it's time to rethink what you're doing with your trading. Are you ambitious? Do you want to make money? Do you love to make money? If you love making money, then you will love trading stocks. I love making money, and that's why I love trading. Trading stocks is a fun way to make money, and you can do it from home. How can you make money trading? And why trade? You know, the way you make money trading is by finding a strategy that works, that you can utilize in the market to make money. Now, there are many, many, many strategies available on the planet that you can figure out to trade stocks. Some of them work, some of them don't work. Some of them work, but they take a long time to work or are very costly, meaning that you need a lot of money in order to get anything out of it. The reason I love day trading, and the reason I love gaps, and the reason I love the professional bearish gap strategy that I've created is because you don't need an obscene amount of money to make a living doing it. And it also will pay you quickly, unlike some strategies that are out there that people teach. You have to have a plan of action. You need a plan of action, and you need a plan of action in place, in order to be successful trading. You need a proven strategy and a system that works in order to make money trading. And you absolutely must follow it. You must follow this plan to achieve success. You have to not only have the plan, but then you got to follow the plan. Don't forget, that's the most important thing. There's no reason to have a plan if you're not going to follow it. Some people make plans, they make trading plans, and then they don't follow them. Well, then what was the point of even making the plan? You have to be disciplined enough to follow what you set out to do. Let's talk about some of the reasons why people fail trading. Why do people lose money trading? There are people that are successful, but there's lots of people that aren't. Why? Why aren't they successful? First of all, they have no plan of action, which we just talked about and why that's so important. Number two, they have no focus. Number three, they have no strategy or play that they do in the market consistently. And number four, they have no mentor. I know this sounds like a crazy thing, but the thing is, it's not. It's important to have a mentor, someone that's trading and making money, that knows what they're talking about, that knows how to read the market, that you can go to with questions. It's great to buy books and read books and watch videos online, but if you don't have somebody, a real person, to ask a question, why did I do this? Why didn't this work out, Melissa? What happened here? then how are you going to know sometimes how to make corrections in your trading? And that's why it's really important to have a mentor, to have someone to go to. I didn't. I wish that I did. I wish that I did when I started out trading. It would have made it so much easier for me. And this is why I'm teaching people things now that I know they need to hear because I never heard them. No one ever told me these things. The number one reason why people lose money in the market is they do not have a system in place that works. They do not have a system in place that works. They do not have a system that is specific enough, specialized enough, detailed enough, focused enough, and meaningful enough to the real trend of a stock. So somebody might have a system that works for a week or a month or 3 months. The things that I have learned about gaps and the gap strategy I teach work, and they will always work. They will always work. It doesn't matter what the market's doing. It doesn't matter if the market's in an uptrend, a downtrend. It doesn't matter. Right now, the market is in a downtrend. And it's a great time to play my strategy because things are moving beyond the target to bigger targets. But it works no matter what. I've been playing it for all year, and the market was in an uptrend for the whole year before this downturn. And the stuff still works. Why? Because gaps have a substance and meaning behind them, and they change the direction of stocks. And they work no matter what the market's doing, and they work no matter what, as long as it's a good gap. So, just to regroup here, you need to have a plan of action. You must think in your brain what you want to accomplish, get clear on the reason that you're doing this, get clear on the reason that you're trading, part-time income, full-time income, long-term savings, and then put a plan of action in place. What is that plan of action? I'm going to read this book. I'm going to take Melissa's class. I'm going to practice on a demo. Then I'm going to trade real money. Then I'm going to do it. Whatever it is, write it out on a piece of paper and stick to it. That's very, very important. Maybe your plan of action is you're going to work a full-time job, trade part-time in the morning because you can trade gaps in the morning, and then go to your full-time job after you trade until you're making enough money trading to quit your full-time job. Maybe that's one plan of action for you. Maybe you're only going to trade 2 days a week, and you're going to save money for retirement doing that. Maybe you're going to take trades, and you're going to play gaps, and you're going to hold them for swing trades and hold them overnight because you have a job during the day, and you would just want to hold the trades and save that money and hold them for a couple weeks or months for savings long-term. You can play gaps that way too. That's the wonderful thing about gaps. So, why trade gaps? Stocks that gap have big moves on the day, and they can continue for weeks and months. Stocks that gap usually have their moves within the first part of the trading day, and you can be done trading by lunch. I love that part of that gap. You have the rest of the day to yourself. Go to the gym, go shopping, do whatever you feel like doing. Stocks that gap have huge moves with small stops, which means you can make more money with less risk. And this is another reason why I love trading gaps. Stocks that gap have a chart precision that is very unique in the market. And I'm going to show you some examples of that today. In fact, I changed my class this afternoon and added the trade I did today so we could talk about it in the class tonight. It was perfect. Perfect! Perfect! Perfect chart precision. It's the kind of stuff that when I write it on the sheet in the morning, when I'm getting ready to trade, I say to myself, what do I want this to do? And then when the stock opens and does it, you just press the button. You press the button, boom, and it's that easy when everything works out so beautifully, which it does when these gaps set up so well. So I teach a class, it's called the Golden Gap Seminar. The Golden Gap course is a 2-day class on how to trade professional bearish gaps. The Golden Gap course is designed to help you strategically find, pick, and play stocks that are professional bearish gaps. It is a complete system. What is necessary for a complete trading system? The following components specifically and in their entirety. Number 1, a strategy. Number 2, a play or multiple plays. I don't care how many plays you want to use. You need at least one that you're good at. I teach 6 in my class, but you've got to get good at one at least. And number 3, you need a concept to give you an edge. What is this? I've created several concepts that I teach in my gap class. One of them is a swoosh. one of the things that I created and made up is called the Swoosh, and that's what I named my whole company, called the stock Swoosh. It's an unbelievable thing that I use to trade. When I trade gaps, and it gives me an edge. It gives me an edge. It helps me make money, and some days it helps me save money because I don't take the play. You do not need 100 strategies and plays to make money in the market. You need one strategy and one play which works. And if you can combine one strategy and one play and do them extremely well, you can make money trading. I know this sounds crazy. I know you probably don't believe it. I have people all the time that say, oh, you know, why aren't you doing longs? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Yeah, I could if I felt like it, but why? Why? Just even in the last month, in the last year, and even in the last month, my trading has gotten so good, so efficient. Trading my strategy, it never stops getting better because I'm only focusing on one thing. And the same thing will happen to you. The same thing will happen to you. You have to understand how our human brains function, okay? Our human brains function where we see things and we see patterns, and this is all based on technical analysis, okay? So our brain becomes used to seeing those patterns. We see those patterns, and then we see them over and over and over again. And if we keep looking at the same pattern and not trying to do 100 different patterns, okay, and stick with the same strategy, it's easier for our brain to pick it up. And then it's easier to trade. And then it's easier to make the decisions, and it's easier to risk the money, and then it's easier to make the money, and that's how it goes. And you're no different than me. You're no different than me. If you took my class this weekend and started trading and just focused on one thing, over time, practice, you would get it, and you would see it easier and easier and easier. And your brain would just become accustomed to the things that you're seeing. The problem with doing a million different things is, it's confusing for your brain. Now, our brains are incredible things. We have 120 billion neurons in our brain, okay? Our brains are incredible machines. But trading is difficult. Trading is challenging. We have to think of a lot of different things, and we have to think of them very quickly. So it makes it easier for our brain if we just do the same thing every day. If we just do the same strategy every day, it's not so stressful for our brain, okay? And that's why I also teach not to trade for 8 hours every day, 5 days a week. It's exhausting. It's exhausting to your brain. It's exhausting to your eyes. It's too much. The great thing about gaps is you could trade and be done in 30 minutes. You could trade and be done in 5 minutes. My first trade today lasted 3 minutes. I could have stopped if I wanted to. I didn't. I took a second trade, but I could have quit for the day after 3 minutes. Where can you find a job like that? Nowhere. The stock market. That's where. So my class, the 2-day class that I teach, is the complete system. It teaches you everything you need to know how to find the gap and how to play the gap to get in and to get out of the trade, which is how you're going to make the money. The Golden Gap system teaches 26 points to rate each gap. You use this 26-point rating system to help you determine which stock that is gapping will work correctly on the day. By using this system, you know what stock to trade and make money. This specialized rating system is unique. No one else has this system. The Golden Gap strategy and point rating system in the Golden Gap 2-day class works. It will help you to find the right gap and to play to make money trading. It is a complete system that works. There are other companies out there that teach how to trade gaps. There's many places that teach how to trade gaps. They're just not specific enough. How do I know this? Because I took the classes and I started using those systems. Okay, they were not complete. Sometimes they'd work, sometimes they wouldn't. It seemed like half the time they'd work, and more than half the time they wouldn't work. It didn't make any sense. And in the end, after paying commissions, paying fees to my broker, paying all this stuff, I had nothing left. I didn't understand why the stuff wasn't working. So I set out to find out why. I said, you know what? I'm going to figure it out. I know this stuff works so great when it works, but then there's so many times that it doesn't seem to work. Why? And that's how I created the 26 points that I use to find the good ones. And some days there aren't any good ones, and then I don't trade those days. And then there's days like today where you just nail it out of the park. You just bang it out of the park, and that's what you do. That's what you do. But the thing is, you have to find the good ones. You have to make money every day you trade. You don't have to make money every day, but you have to make money every day you trade. And once in a blue moon, you'll take something that doesn't work. But but it's once in a blue moon. It's not half the time. Why? Because we're looking at 26 things to try to find the good gap. And I don't take anything if it rates under 19. And at 19, it's a 50-50 chance that they may not work. And I tell students that in the class. 20 and above is good. Do you know how many things on a chart, on a stock chart, that a stock has to meet in order to get to even be playable to me? 19 things is a lot of things. A lot, okay? A lot of criteria that it has to go through. It's a tough system. And I made it that way for a reason, because I don't want to lose. I don't like to lose. I like to make money. I lost money when I was learning. I don't want to lose anymore. I said, enough of this. It's time to do it, to figure it out. And I set out to do it. And now I'm ready to teach other people. And this is what I've been doing for the last few months. I want to find people that are willing to learn, that want to focus, that say, yeah, I've got what it takes. I'm determined, I'm motivated. And that's really all you need. That's really all you need. If you're determined and motivated to do it, you can do it. I was determined and motivated to do it, and I did it myself, and I'm going to make it easier for you. Plus, I'm going to be there for you as a mentor. And it was something that I didn't have enough of. Right now, we're in full swing earnings season. We've got a couple more weeks left. Not going to be busy during the Thanksgiving week, but we've got some good trading days left between now and the end of the year. There's going to be earnings out on stocks, and this is just a chart of the market. This is what the market did today. Let's talk about this for a couple of minutes before we go into the next section. The market has had a nice rally up this summer. Nice move up this summer. I thought we might rally up here at one point and retest an area that was up here around $75. We didn't do it. We actually had a gap in the market right here this day. I know this is a little tiny green bar, but this was a gap. This is a real gap. You could have played this gap in the day. We didn't go red on that day, but many times when a stock does a professional bearish gap, if it doesn't go the day that it gaps, it for sure goes the next day. Why? Because the gap is real. This is real. JCPenney did that this week. Friday it gapped and rallied up, okay, instead of falling. But I knew when I got up on Monday morning and looked at that thing, I said, that thing is going to drop. Today it's going to do it. The next day. Most of the time they work the first day, but if they don't, they always do the next day. And here the market did too. Even the market follows the course of activity when it gaps, just like normal stocks do. So then the market came in, we retested here, and we have had such a hard drop. Now we came into a support area, and I've been watching this, and I've been watching this, and I've been watching this, and the market was closed for 2 days because of the hurricane. But we have had such a hard time holding this area here. And every day I watched it, I said, boy, I think it's going to hold today. It's going to hold today. And here I thought, for sure we're going to hold today. And then the day that we gapped up, we actually rallied up in the gap. We came in so bearishly, I said, boy, this market is weak. On that day there, the day we did that, I said, boy, this market is weak. This is the market. This is just the QQQ. I'll write it in here. This is just an example of the market. So what happened here next was then the market gapped down again. Surprise, surprise. After this kind of bar here, when we gapped up, we had every intention that we should have held at something here, a tiny red bar maybe at the most because we gapped up. But we came in so hard here, we've had such trouble holding all of these bars in here, really are bearish except for that one green one. And this is a tiny green. So then we drop. And now we're even having trouble holding here. We can't even hold here. And then after the way we closed today, I say to myself, we're going to gap down tomorrow. Sure that we're going to gap down tomorrow. We could gap down tomorrow and try to hold ourselves again, but we're still gapping down. We're still falling. Okay? That's the bottom line. So we play professional bearish gaps. That's what I teach in the class. And as I was stating earlier, you don't need the trend of the market to be on your side to play shorts when you're playing gaps. I was playing them all in here and making money. But the bottom line is it helps you get bigger targets. It helps you get nicer targets. It makes it so much easier for you. And let me tell you, this thing isn't over. Now, we need to rally up into resistance area at some point. But I don't think we're going to get to that 75 number that I thought we were going to. I just don't think it's going to happen. Who can say? I'm not about predicting the future. I'm about reading the market in real time as it happens, day by day by day. And that's what you have to do as a trader. You get up in the morning, you see where the market's gapping, you make a decision. You get up in the morning, you look at your gaps, you rate them, you make a decision. You have to make decisions in real time. That's what you're going to have to do. That's the job. That's what you're setting out to do. Make decisions in real time. You have to think of the market like a sea of money. It's a wonderful thing when you start to see it that way, and you realize that the market is a sea of money. If you set out to succeed, the market will pay you, and you can go fishing and find your fish and catch it and take it home to eat every night. If you think of the market as something that's going to take your money because you've been trading for years and losing, you've taken lots of classes and spent money and they haven't taught you diddly squat, then the market will take your money. The market will be for you whatever you want it to be. That's the beauty of the market. That's the thing I love about the market. You've got to love that about the market. The market will mirror whatever you want it to be. If you want to take money from the market and make money every day, and you know that you can, and you believe in yourself, and you have conviction in your strategy, you can go and make money every day you trade. If you have a negative attitude, if you don't think it's possible, the market will just say, sure, here you go, Mr. Smith. I'll take your money today. I'll take your money from that trade. And then it just exasperates your intention, which is feeling like the market is going to take it from you. I want you to change your mind about the market. I want you to change your perception of whatever trading has been for you in the past. And if you're new to trading, I want you to have a brand new perception right now today that the market is a sea of money that will pay you. Because it is, and it can, and it will, as long as you do the right thing. And that's what I'm teaching people to do. Part of that has to do with your perception. Part of it has to do with your intention. Part of it has to do with the way your mind works and the way your mind thinks. And you've got to get it going in the right direction. You know, sometimes you have a bad day. You get up in the morning, you have a bad day, things aren't going right, and it just seems to get worse. It just doesn't it happen so often, and you don't understand why. That's because you started out having a bad day, and then it just kept falling off a cliff. It's the same thing happens when positive things happen to you. When good things happen to us, our day seems to get better and better and better and better and better. Well, it's the same way with trading. It's the same way with trading. The obstacle is, though, that most people, whenever they start out trading at the beginning, lose. Some people lose a tiny bit of money when they're learning, and some people lose a lot of money when they're learning. And the obstacle to get from point A to B, which is new, beginner to successful person as a trader, is to get across that bridge from losing, even if it's a tiny bit, to making money once you start doing it, and then to making a lot of money. And I want to help people cross that bridge because I did it. I did it. So I know you can do it too. It's possible, but you have to get the strategy down correct that you're doing. You have to follow what you're doing. You have to make sure you make money in the market and you book it and you stop trading. Don't keep trading all day and giving it back. Take what you get and stop. Do your thing and book it. And you also have to have a positive attitude. And you need to have that some days, even when you get up and things don't seem to be working right. If you get up in the morning and you're in a bad mood, or you're feeling sick, or you got up late, don't trade that day. I'm telling you, don't do it, okay? If you can't get over your negative attitude, if you're in a bad mood, just say, I'm not going to trade today. Have enough strength and discipline not to trade then that day. I feel like I invented this word in the dictionary. My name should be right next to it. Because I've been talking about conviction ever since I started figuring out this trading stuff. It's been about a year and a half, 2 years now. I've been using this word, and all my friends are saying it too. Other people I don't even know now are talking about it. I hear it, and I don't know if they got it from me or what. But I trade with conviction. I don't take any trades without conviction. You have to have conviction. Get conviction in your trading. This is so important. How can you risk your own money if you do not have conviction in your trading? How can you trade the market at all without a system? You have to have conviction in your system. Learning the Golden Gap system will help you gain conviction in your trading. And playing the Golden Gap will give you conviction and a strategy. And that's important. That is really important for people. Everybody says, I want proof, I want proof, I want proof. Well, just read the chart. Read the chart. We're going to look at charts tonight. There's the proof. There, it works. There it is. I have 2 students today that emailed me and said, thank you, Melissa. I made money today. I got it. I got it. They did the same thing I did, and I didn't even talk to them. I didn't tell them what to do, and they did it on their own. From taking the class, they found the same thing I played today, and they made money, and they were so happy. And it's so nice to get emails like that. The Golden Gap gives you conviction because it's precise and complete. This conviction will help you to take sides in your trades, which will allow you to make more money. And you have to do that because not everything trades the same every day. Sometimes you're going to get in a stock and it'll move $5 on the day. But sometimes you're going to get in a stock like Groupon, which I traded on Friday, and only moves 50 cents. Okay, 50 cents is a big move for Groupon. What are you going to do? Then you got to take sides then to get the moves in these things to make some decent money. And you can do it because you can get better stops in these smaller stocks. But you need to get to a place where you can feel enough conviction in what you're doing to take the sides. Because sometimes you can get nervous taking sides. It could be scary at the beginning, but you got to get over it. You got to get over it. I have friends I know right now, they still can't take sides. I said to my friend today, take more sides in this thing. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. He tried, and by the time he tried, he couldn't even get filled. It was way too late. The trade was half gone. You know, you have to get to a place where you're okay with taking sides in your trading, but the only way you're going to do that is if you get down precise and complete a system and a play that you believe in, that you have conviction in. So we're going to talk about what was today. Today was WFT. This is the gap. I saw it last night. I said, I love it. I love it. When I saw it last night, it was up here, and I loved it. And I woke up this morning, and it had fallen this morning and bounced up at 970. And I said, it had gapped down so much. But you know what? I said, I still love it. I absolutely still love it. I'm rating it. I know it's going to work. I have 100% conviction. That's when I get up in the morning and ask myself, do I have 100% conviction? Yes. Okay. I'm rating it. I'm taking it. If it rates well, which this did. This gap got every point I had today but 2. It didn't get 2 points. It's very, very rare that anything I do even gets 26 points. Why? Because the system is tough. It's a tough, tough system. And if something gets 24 points, which this did today, it's excellent, it's fabulous, and you're almost not going to get anything better. So I knew it was going to work. And those are the days you take sides. Those are the days you just nail it. And here it is. This was on earnings, by the way, as well. So here it is. This is the play. I'm going to go over and show you what I did. I did 2 plays in this, and this is how I like to trade. I'm just showing you what I do. You can do whatever you want to do, but this is what I do, and this is kind of what I teach in the class. I took my first entry, which was right here, the 3rd bar, got in right here when it triggered, and I got a drop. And I got out. I got out my whole position right there. 3 red bars down, drop, out, booked it. I'm also into reversal time. 9:35 is the reversal time. I know some places don't teach that, but it is. 9:35 is the reversal time, 9:40 is the reversal time, and 9:45 is the reversal time. I own this period of the trading day, oh my God. I know how to play it very precisely, and if you take my class, I'm going to teach you how to do it too. This is precision, and you will see this in gaps like nothing else. I can't see any level of precision that I see and any other strategy that I see in gaps in the first 15 minutes of the day, in the first 5 minutes of the day. In the first 5 minutes of the day, the stock tells me everything I need to know whether or not it's going to work on the day or not. Can you believe that? Do you believe that? If you will if you take my class, because it's the truth, okay? Then I was out. So then I went here. At 9:32, this is what I did. I was in it. And the price I got in it was $9.83. So, actually I have here, I didn't have the risk amount wrong here, I'm just looking at this now. The risk amount, I put what I made as the $760. The risk amount was not $760. The amount I risked was $320. I have this wrong here. The profit I made was $760. 8 cents of $4,000 is $320. I have this wrong here in the chart. I was rushing to get this in before the seminar. Sorry, everyone. Anyways, the profit I made was $760. I got 20 cents out of it. So let me just go back. I got in here. It was $320, okay, and 4,000 shares. I know that sounds crazy, but pre-market, this is trading over 1 million shares. You need to have volume to do this, okay? But if you have volume in a stock, you can do it. On the open. This isn't pre-market. This is on the open. Then I got the drop. Here's where I'm at. I made 20 cents. You can say, oh, 20 cents, okay? But I've made $760 in 3 minutes. I can quit for the day. I thought about it. I almost thought about quitting. I said, no, this is so good. Why am I quitting today? I'm gonna take it again. But you know, once you're up money right away so quickly, sometimes you say, you know what? I'm just gonna turn off the computer. I didn't today, but the point was you can. here's the 5 minutes. Then what happened with this thing? So I sat and I sat and I sat and I sat and I waited. I waited what feels like an eternity to me, okay? And this thing rallies up. These two bars here are the exact same price. This is what I'm talking about precision. Okay, so this thing dropped. I'm out of this in here. I'm watching it. I'm not doing anything. I'm not even in a trade. It rallies up. You see the top of this bar and you see the top of this bar? It's the same number. This is what I'm talking about precision. And this is a great gap. This is why we got it. All right, let's go back to the 1 minute so we can see it better there. So what happened? I'm out in this. It dropped some more. I don't care. I just made $760. It doesn't matter to me. So then the thing rallies up. Okay, I'm expecting to rally up into a reversal time. It's rallying into 945. I'm watching. It's holding. It's holding. It's facing. Now, at the same time all of this was happening, I just want to make note. I have the market up, the cues that I showed you, and the market was rallying. That gave me more conviction in my play. When I got a green bar like this, I wasn't scared that this thing was going to flip around and reverse or go long. No way. It's a bearish gap, and it's a beautiful gap. It did everything right. There's no way. So I'm not scared out of the trade. I'm staying in the trade as far as trying to find another trade. I mean, I'm sticking with the stock, okay? I'm looking for another entry. But I just want to make note that the market was going up crazy-like when the stock was doing all this and this. And this is why you have to know what you're doing, okay? You have to understand and rate the gap and say this gap's at 24 points. Therefore, I'm taking my play. Therefore, I'm waiting for a second play because I didn't get to my target here. This isn't a target. 20 cents isn't a target, all right? But I had all my numbers written down of where all my targets were supposed to be today. 952, 947, 929, 927, 925, 915, 913, 908, $9.876. Those were all my targets of the day, okay? So what happened? So I'm watching this. This holds to the penny, holds to the penny, holds to the penny, does a retest. I'm in. I'm in a huge size in this thing now, okay? I do not risk the entire amount of money that I made on the day. I risk half the money that I made on the day in the first play. That's how I play it, okay? That's how you do it. Why? Does everyone understand that this bar here isn't people buying it? This is stuff I teach in my class. I just want to show this example because I get so frustrated when people say, "Oh, I'm going to buy that. It's gapped down too far." Let's go back to the daily chart here. It doesn't matter. It's still going to work. The fact that it's gapped down far doesn't mean this thing isn't going to work. It doesn't mean this thing isn't going to work at all. Okay? Big money decided to sell out of this today, which created the gap, and there's no way that anybody's going to be buying this thing. It is what it is. As day traders, as regular traders, as individual people, we must trade on the side of the momentum. Who creates the momentum? The momentum is created by larger money people, whoever they are, mutual funds, institutions, hedge funds, banks. It doesn't matter. We don't care. The point is, they're the ones that have lots and lots of money, and we just want to make money on this thing here, on the move of these people. Now, the tricky part is getting the entry right, which is what I teach in the class. That's how you have to get all the numbers down. And that's how you have to get conviction. You have to get conviction when you see something like this that you know, nail it. Nail that thing. Get right in that thing. Do it. And you know what? I put my stop over this bar. I don't even put my stop over the high of the day because it shouldn't invalidate this at all. It should absolutely not invalidate this at all. And I also am in right here when this trigger's here, not on the low of the day. I'm in here. Boom, in. Because sometimes if you don't get in, you can't get in. And also, I don't want to get filled in a price like worst price. I had a perfect price for this fill. I got filled immediately. I was lucky. I got filled immediately, and that's how I was able to make that little bit of money there to start my day. So anyways, let's get back to this. This thing is basing out. Here it goes. So I take my second trade here now when it triggers right here. Now I see this doing this. I'm getting even bigger in here. I've taken more now. I've taken a crazy amount of size, but I'm still only risking half the amount of money that I made on the day. So worst case scenario, I lose half the money I made this morning. I still have a positive day. I still have a positive day of like $350. Okay? That's how you play this. This is what I teach. You can do it however you want. You can get it in here and hold it all day to target if you want, but this is better. You make more this way, and it's less stress. Why? No matter what, you're green. No matter what, even with the second one, you're green. And you don't know for sure if it's going to go to the target. There's no guarantees. And I just like to get green. I just like to get green as soon as I possibly can in the morning. It just takes the pressure off, okay? And I'm fast and I can get these moves. If you can't get these moves, you need to learn how to do it. Because let me tell you something. Sometimes this happens and it just goes right to the target. Now, that didn't happen here, okay? It did not happen here, but who's to say it won't? You don't know. Sometimes they do. Then what do you do with yourself? Oh, you missed it. You have to learn how to do these things fast. We're day traders. We have to be nimble. We have to be able to use the computer. You don't have to sit and do that for 8 hours, but you got to sit and do it for 15 minutes. Anybody can sit and do that for 15 minutes, okay? So let's get back to how I played out the second trade here. The entry time in the second one was 9:41. The price was 9.72, and the stop was over 9.77. Those two bars where they touched up was 9.76 to the penny. To the penny. To the penny. I even thought, should I give it another couple pennies? And said, no, I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. And it held perfectly. The risk was 5 cents. Here, I got it right. I was rushing the other one. On 8,000 shares, the risk was $400. Now, remember, I made $760 in the first one. So if this hadn't have worked, I would have lost $400. I still would have made $360 a day. I'll take $360, okay? For working for a couple of minutes in the morning, I'll take it, okay? That's not too bad. If someone paid you $360 for 15 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 minutes worth of work, would you do it? Sure you would. You absolutely would. And certainly if you could duplicate that every single day. So I exited the first position at 10:03 at 9:51, and the total profit on that second trade was $840. So it was half of it. So I got in that size, took 4,000 off, and that dropped. Okay, I'm going to go back and show you now where the drop was. Here, I'm going to show you in the 1 minute because that's what I did. This here, I'm in this. I get this drop in here. I'm out into here. I'm out half of it into here. Into here, I'm lucky I got this down. I was trying to get it down to 10, carried it down through a little bit after 10, out in this drop. I'm not suffering through this rally here with 8,000 shares. I'm in this drop here. I'm out of half the position. At this point now, no matter what happens, I have 840 plus 760. So no matter what happens today, no matter what happens on the face of the planet, okay, even if this thing doesn't get to target, I made $1,600 today. And I believe in the trade. I have conviction in it. I think it's going to go to the target, and you know what it did? It did. It went down almost to $9. It just bled the rest of the day, and let's go look and see what happened here. Here I'll show the 5 minutes to just show you the whole move. I was out in this second position here, and he just carried it down. And how do you manage this thing? We have to manage the rest of it. You still have a nice size in it. You manage it by pivot. This thing here, I could have gotten out the whole thing here, okay? But the bottom line is the stock was so weak. The stock was so weak, and then at one point during the day, the market was starting to come in a little bit, and then I thought it was going to just help it even more, and then, of course, it did. Here, it got to be a little, but it held. Held perfectly. Look at this even here. Okay? Even if you had your stop up here and this drop here, it held that pivot. Perfectly drop. Now we're way down lower here, and you have to keep lowering it down, and you get the drop, and you have to get out. I mean, it didn't go to $9, but it ran out of day, and this is a huge trade now. So the profit in this thing, then that second one, with half the position, was $27.20, and you have $43.40 on the day. $43.40 on the day in a stock that looks like this. And you don't need $1 million account to do this, because the stock's only $9, $10. Okay? This is totally doable for anyone that wants to learn how to do this. It's 100% doable. It takes work. It takes study. You need to take my class. You need to learn how to do these entries. You need to learn how to rate the gas. But it's 100% doable. 100%. Now, do you get one of these every day? No. Do you get one of these a couple of times a week? Yes. At least twice a week. 3 times a week during earnings season. And then the other days, you get little ones. Or maybe you get nothing. Monday, I didn't trade at all. Tuesday, today, I woke up, I had a great one. I think I'm going to get a great one tomorrow. Am I sure? I don't know. But probably, at least I'm going to get another great one another day this week, and probably 2 more at least. There's lots of earnings still coming out. That's why you have to learn how to play these things well. And that's why you have to take them with size. And that helps you stay away when the market doesn't give you something good. The way that you got to be successful trading is you trade when there's opportunity. And part of that process, and part of the reason to take my class is to learn when an opportunity is there. because sometimes it's not readily something that you can spot. And that's the problem. Some people struggle. They think that there's opportunity there every day, but there isn't, okay? If you look at stocks over the course of the year from January to December, if you look at stocks, most of the time in the chart, there's absolutely nothing to do. There's just nothing to do. Things trade in trends, okay, and you can trade the trends if you want, if you're in longer-term positions. But on a daily basis, as a day trader to make money trading, most of the days, there is nothing to do. There's nothing that you can really see that's clear and clean and precise. I like to trade clean, clean, clean. I like cleanness. You see this? This is clean. Clean entry, clean stop, get the drop. Rallies up, this is very clean. I'm not questioning myself. I'm not wondering if it's going to work or not. I know 100% it's going to work. This is very clean. It's spacing out. It's holding a number perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. So we want to talk a little bit about the long-term power of gap. The golden gap class teaches the 26-point gap rating system, which can be used to day trade. However, the system can also be used for swing and core trading these stocks for even bigger moves. These moves can continue for 3 to 5 days, 3 to 5 months, or 3 to 5 years. It's all about the power of the gap, the power of the gap, the power of the golden gap system, the power of conviction, the power of information, the power of the information that you learn from my class, the power of knowledge, and the power of you. Because ultimately, you're the one that's going to have the power to do this. I can't give you the power to do this. I can give you the information. I can impart to you the power of the information. I can impart to you the knowledge and the power of that knowledge, but I can't give you power to do this. You have to find it within yourself, and you have it within yourself to do it. You just got to find it. You have to ask yourself if you believe in yourself. There's so many people that don't believe in themselves. Why? We need to start loving ourselves more. Let me tell you, it is a tough, tough world out there. And if we don't love ourselves, then who is going to love ourselves? Complete strangers? The world? The economy? Government? Come on, people. You know, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You really have to believe in yourself. And I want people to believe in themselves. And I'm trying to teach people to believe in themselves because it's going to help you in your life. We're going to talk really quickly about Netflix. I'm just going to show one example of a long-term trend trade. You can just see one example here. This thing ran up to $300. I love Netflix. It's just terrific. It had a great run. It had a really great run. If anybody was long this thing, they made tons and tons of money. But this stock eventually did a professional bearish gap, like many, many stocks do. And when it did, you had one option, which was to trade it, to trade the thing and get in it. So what happened? The stock has a professional bearish gap down right here. Here it was. Here's the first one you're in this trade if you want to actually play it as a core short. And the stop has to be over this area here. Okay? Now what happened? It never went over this area. Talk about perfection. You can find perfection even in something like this Netflix. You know that when this went up here and dinged up here like that, and this went up here and dinged like here like that, it didn't go over that number, that didn't go over the high. It didn't even go over it. People always say, Melissa, the stop's going to hold, the stop's too tight, it's too tight, it's too tight, it's too tight. No, it's not, because you know what, if it goes over, it is not going to work. Because remember, sometimes things don't work, okay? Nothing's 100%. But my point is, if it goes over where I tell you to put it, that means it's a problem and it's not going to work, okay? This works. And I just want you to notice here, this is a resistance area actually now. So the stock gapped and then came up. This was support. Boom, boom, boom. These 3 bars here. And that one here, because remember, these are areas, okay? And then when it gapped, it tried to go back up here with this green bar here, but all it was doing was just retesting this area right here. That's all that it was doing. It didn't do anything wrong. In fact, I would have taken more in there if I was shorting this core short. I would have such conviction before the end of this trading day, before that sucker closed, I would have taken more. Just because I understand that this is like, first of all, a gap, and I love the gap, and it broke out to new all-time highs here. First, this thing is rallying up. Then I get a gap up here. It carries itself up, but only for a week. It rallies up to all-time highs, the whole number, which is $300. Then I have a big red bar. I can't hold the $300 price range. Then it gaps down. Then I get a retest of this. How many more signs do you need? A million, a billion, a kajillion? And notice when this thing ran this day and gapped down, it went under this gap. It negated this gap right here that happened real time. That's powerful too. So this move here that started up started to give you clues this thing was done today, here, the gap, and here. They give you 1, 2, 3, 4 clues. No, 5. 1, 2, no, the gap. The gap plus the going under here. So broke out to all-time highs, failed, came in on the red day, did the gap, went under the green bar, and then retested. So that was 5 things. 5 things that it did. What do you want? 100? A billion? Plus the gap rated well in the rating system. So then you take it down for a move. Now most people are trading the gap on this here. You're in it all the way up here. You're in it $100 before anybody else in the world. And this is what it did. This is what it looked like. This is what the chart looked like. This is the weekly chart, and it came all the way in. Beautiful. Now, I just want to show you here the target on this thing, which it did get to, was $61. And I just want to show you where I got that from. Okay, where I got the $61 target from is this kind of basey area here. It was a little bit under where the 200 is, but it fell right into it. Here's where it did it all the way down. It was a year later, almost a year later. It gapped down this day, and it fell into that target. You don't know for sure if these things are going to keep going or not. It did keep going. You can follow it through. And then at some point, you have to decide if you're going to just keep managing it down and managing it down. But the day that it had this big bar here, you have to take it out. If you're not out of it anywhere in here, you have to get out of it. Okay? The bottom line is you just can't be holding these things forever once you're up so much money. You have to start to make some decisions. And you can see from this chart, and this is why I wanted to show it to you here, when something comes all the way in and gets spacey, you have to make a decision to take it out. Okay? This is where you got to start taking your profits and not getting greedy about these things. So here's the play. The entry time was July 18th. The price was $282. Stock was at $290. I know that's $7, but remember, we're trading this course, so we're not taking a million shares. $200, you would have had to risk $1,400 to get the trade right. So it did get to the target. If you held this for 1 year, which is a long time, I understand that. This is not day trading. This is core swing trading. You would have made $44,200. The total reward to risk in this is $31.50 for every dollar you risk. It's the same thing I do intraday, just magnified, absolutely magnified. This is where I would like to see myself and all the people that I teach trading over the course of the next 2 years. Okay, this is you learn the day trading strategy so that you can get the gaps correct. You learn how to trade them intraday so that you can make money to keep sustaining you and to keep paying you. But you learn how to trade stuff over a long period of time once you get good at reading gaps and picking them and finding them so that you can trade them for a longer period of time, and then you can make this extra kind of money and really, really start to grow your account. The philosophy behind the system is to find stocks to trade that have a high probability of directional bias for the entire day, big moves on the day, early confirmation of my bias in the move, and precise entries with follow-through. That's the whole philosophy behind the system that I created. And I did it for myself. I didn't create the system to teach any class. I created it for myself to trade. And then all my friends kept saying, why don't you do a class? Why don't you do a class? And I decided to do one, and here I am. But I made this system for myself. Do it myself. And then I decided to teach it. But these were all the things that I wanted. I wanted a high probability of directional bias for the entire day. I wanted to get big moves and stuff. I wanted to get early confirmation of that move. And I wanted precise entries with follow-through. Success. How do you plan on achieving success? Success requires a plan, just like we talked about. Success also involves risk. Successful people don't spend time thinking while opportunity passes them by. If you waited in WFT today, you either didn't get filled or you missed the trade. If you wanted to take risks, you took 8,000 shares of that, and you did it, and you made several $1,000s, and you don't need even to trade the rest of the week if you don't want to, okay? So it doesn't really matter if I don't get anything good the rest of the week. I will, but it's not a make or break it. You can live on one of these a week. People who take risks get rewarded in life because they're willing to take a chance. Success does not come without taking a risk and making an effort. It just doesn't. If it does, everyone would be successful. If there was no risk involved, the reward would not be so great. If there was no risk involved in trading in life, everyone would be successful. And as we know, everyone is not. They're just not. You have to get all the pieces together. You have to get your head right, okay? You have to think positively. You have to have a plan of action how you're going to get to your goals, your financial goals. Is trading going to be the way you get there? It can be. It certainly can be. It's a lot easier than some of the other ways. You want to go work at a job for 25 years and make peanuts and then get fired all of a sudden because the economy's bad and they're laying people off, and you just gave these people 20 years of your life and you got no pension to show for it? Now what are you going to do? You know the people I know that are older than me right now, that have lost their jobs or had to find different careers in their 40s, in their 50s? You know, it sucks. They're upset. They're angry. And they have a right to be. But now people are starting to get a different opinion about the world. People are starting to realize that it's about self-empowerment. People are starting to realize that the power does reside within themselves. And when you give your power away to other people, then it's just going to keep draining you. Life is a risk. Life is a risk. Take the leap. This fish is living in there and he's happy, but he keeps growing bigger and bigger every day because we keep feeding him, and he's starting to get uncomfortable. If he doesn't go and jump into this other bowl in here, he's going to die, or he's not going to be able to breathe, and it's a problem now for him. He has a choice. You have a choice. I have a choice. We all have choices. Life is a risk. Take the risk. Have faith that it's all going to work out. Do you know when I was starting trading and I was losing and things were at their worst? I don't know how I did it. My friends to this day will know the kind of person that I am because they were my friends during the time of my life when I was losing money trading, before I figured it out, and they did not understand why I kept getting up and doing it. And now today that I'm successful, they say, Melissa, congratulations. You know? I mean, I taught them to believe in themselves. And I want to teach it to other people, not to, because you have to do it. It's possible. Life's the risk. Jump into the big bowl. Whatever that bowl means for you, I don't know if it's becoming a millionaire someday. I don't know if it's moving into a new house. I don't know if it's just having an easier life. We only have to work for an hour a day. You don't have to go into a job. I don't know what this big bowl means to you, okay? For me, it's financial freedom. For me, it's not having to work for anyone ever again. And I can't tell you what a difference that makes in your life. The market will be there forever. I don't need to worry about it. Getting up one day, it's not going to be closed. It will always be there. It will always be there. It will always be there. There will always be a market. And if for some reason something happens and there isn't the stock market as we know it, there will be something else. And I will read those charts and trade them just the same. This is the world that we live in. This is the world that we live in. Success is a risk. You have to put your helmet on and go out into the world and get the cheese. Get the money. Do it. You can do it. If you have a helmet on, you're not going to get hurt. It might sting a little bit. You might get a bump on the head, but you're not going to die. Success is a risk. It's about longevity and consistency. The Golden Gap course will teach you a strategy that will help you sustain yourself in the market. Trading is about consistency and longevity. If you want to have longevity, you need to produce consistent results. The Golden Gap course teaches you how to get consistent results in your trading. You need a plan of action. What is your plan? How are you going to achieve the monetary goals you have set for yourself and for your future? Taking the Golden Gap class is the first step to assist in achieving the financial goals you have set for yourself and your family. Again, I've talked about this before. It's about self-empowerment. It is so important for you to understand that. And once you do, your life will change. Your life will change. You have to ask yourself, how badly do you want it? How badly do you want to change your life, be successful, and start to make lots of money? How badly do you want to learn how to trade? How badly do you want to get a system in place that works? You're so tired of doing this and doing that and doing this trading, and if nothing's working consistently enough. How badly do you want to find something that works? Recognize the opportunity. Recognize the opportunity to learn the golden gap by taking the class. Recognize the opportunity to learn from me directly during the course and to answer your questions. Recognize the opportunity and that this is something special. There might be a reason you're here. Opportunity is knocking. It is up to you to open the door. Take the pearls of wisdom that I have and learn from it. Learn from the things I'm teaching you tonight. Sign up for my class and learn from me there. These are pearls of wisdom. Pearls of wisdom, people. Take them. Cherish them. I decided that I'm going to do a trading room. It's going to be called the Swoosh Trading Room, and it is going to produce results. If I had done a room today, I would have called that trade out, and everybody in it would have taken it and made money. I've had people asking me to do this for months, and I've said no, 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 no. And finally, I decided, not even without that much thought, that I'm just going to do it. I can talk while I trade. I know that I can do it. I know that I can do it at the same time, and I know people need it. I know people need it, and I'm trading anyways. So I'm going to do it. It's going to be called the Swoosh Live Trading Room. It's going to be a brand new trading room, and it's going to be like anything there's ever been, because it's only going to be for half a day. We're not going to sit and trade all day. It's going to start early, which is unlike a lot of places. We're going to start at 8 a.m. It's also going to be done at noon. We're going to trade in the morning. We're going to take 2 or 3 trades, however many we get, and then we're going to review what we did, and then that's it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make our money, we're going to book our money, and then we're going to stop. And we're going to focus on one thing, gaps. And if there's no good bearish gaps in the day, I'll look at long. But we're only going to do gaps, and we're mostly only going to do bearish gaps. And that's what it's going to be. And I'm going to do 3 free days, November 28th, 29th, and 30th. If you're interested in signing up for those 3 free days, I'm going to give 3 days free to everybody. And then the official room is going to start on December 3rd. The monthly room student price for anybody that has taken my class is going to be $200, and for any non-student, it's going to be $250 a month. If you're interested, please email me at info@thestockswoosh.com. And I'm also doing a class this weekend. It's the next gap class. This is the next class that I'm doing. I'm only going to do 2 more classes before the end of the year. The one is going to be this weekend, November 17th and 18th, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I don't know why I have 8 a.m. on there. It's going to be 9 to 5, both days. The cost is $1,500, and if you're interested, please contact me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com. So, sign up. If you're interested and want to take the class in November, you can retake the class in December for free. The class in December I'm doing is the 8th and 9th of December. So you could take the class this weekend, start to trade gaps little by little with small size or on a demo with paper trading, and then use small size in your trades, and then retake the class again on the 8th and 9th to really get good at it, and then start trading real money if you want to, and then go into 2013 having all this down. Having taken the class twice, knowing what you're doing, feeling confident in it, and have traded for at least a month, at least 2 months. That is what I'm suggesting to people, so you can be ready for 2013. Because earnings season then, the first quarter of next year, will be in January, and you'll be ready to go. But you need time to practice and learn it. And you can do that in November, December, yes, this year. So, again, the class is this weekend. If you're interested, email me. And think about what I've said tonight. Think about the possibility you could have a new life for yourself filled with success. You know, it's there. It's there for anyone that wants to dream. Thank you so much for coming. Does anyone have any questions? I see a couple people typing. Judah Young, hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Does anybody else have any questions? Any questions about the room that I'm going to be doing? Any questions about... I do trade with a certain risk. I trade... I shouldn't say that. Sometimes I change it. Sometimes I say to myself, I give myself a little leeway where... Like today, I said this is so fabulous. Some of those days I do risk a little more. I have to be honest with you, I don't have the same amount of risk every time. Some days I risk a little more because I rate so high, like today's gap, okay? Then there's some days where I say, I like it, it's got 20 points, I'm going to do a normal risk, But if it doesn't work, I'm going to stop and wait and give myself a little bit more time and maybe wait till 10 o'clock or something to retake it if I think it needs more time to go. But for my first trade of the day, when I get something good like this, I don't have any problem upping my risk a little bit. And sometimes it has to do with how you're getting filled in the trade. Sometimes like if I press the button to get filled a certain size. And so sometimes if I get more than I want, because sometimes the order sits there until it takes it, and I try like maybe 2 ECNs, I'll let it fill me a little bit more. And then if for some reason I see it's not working, like I could take a little off, but I'd rather take more and then kill a little bit of it than have to not get filled. Does that make sense? So I gotta be honest, I did not risk the same on everything. First of all, I risked in the second trade, okay, I'm risking half the money I make in the first trade. So on the second trade, I'm never using the same amount. And on the first trade, it depends how good the gap is. So I don't. But I do have someone that was looking at my results the other week, and he told me that I'm making, on average, including my losers, $8 for every $1 I risk. That's the only specific numbers I can give you because I had somebody look at it. The whole concept of the R system, I use to some extent, but not like some people live and die by it. The reason I don't live and die by it is because I want to make sure that when I make money in my first play that I don't have a non-green day. So I'm not risking the whole amount. And I also try to find a way to maximize my money in my account by taking some of that money in the first play that I had made and making more. If I wanted to just risk my normal risk amount after I take a good play like I did this morning, I wouldn't have made so much then today. Does that make sense? And I've learned how to do that, so I do take more than on the second one after I have the first good one and I have money green on the day. And I've learned how to kind of leverage myself even more by doing that to maximize my profit. And that's why I think my thing is, I make $8 for every $1 that I risk. I think that's why, because it ends up being, that's how the numbers shake out. The concept of using R's is good when you're trying to figure out how much money do you want to risk per day and how much do I want my stop loss to be. And you have a roundabout number. It's not specific for me. I have a roundabout number on my first one, and whether I do a little bit more, a little bit less, depends on how great the gap is. And the second one is really never the same, to be honest. Once you start to become good at being a trader, you can give yourself a little more wiggle room with this stuff. At the beginning, you need to be a little bit harsher with your things, with your parameters, as far as your risk goes. But I still think you got to get the most out of these good plays, and the only way you're going to do that is if you take a second play and risk more in it because you made money in the first. That's the only way you're going to really get your most bang for your buck out of these things, and that's why I like to do that. And ultimately, it's hard to say, well, how many R's do you make this and that? There's some days, remember, that I'm not trading. Like Monday, I didn't trade. So it's really about maximizing the good gaps every day that you get them, and that's what's important about it. The bottom line is not every trade is equal. Not every trade is equal. Not every gap is even equal. Even with my system, I play golden gaps and I play the good ones, but there are days when some are better than others, even that rate high. Between 20 and 26 points, that's even room for some to be better than others, okay? So there are some that are better than others. And the ones that are better than others, I risk a little more. And so not all trades are created equal. Not all gaps are even created equal. I don't use a tier 1, tier 2 gap system. I know I learned from those same people. Those same people I learned from. Do you believe that? I know exactly what you're talking about. That's the first thing I ever learned, and I don't think it's detailed enough. But the 19, I'm on high alert when I rate something at 19. First of all, the only reason I'm even looking at a 19 gap is because if I have nothing else better. If I have something better than 19, then I'm not even looking at a 19. If I don't have anything else to look at today, I'll look at a number 19 gap. And I'm not going to be jumping crazy all over it. That's the kind of gap that I'm going to be downing my risk a little bit. And I may not take it right away. I may not take it in the first 5 minutes of the day. If that thing doesn't set up perfectly, I might not take it at all. But you know what? Sometimes I do set up perfectly even at 19. So if it sets up perfectly, boom, I'm in. I take it. I'm still backing off my risk a little bit on those because I don't have I'm not like, a perfect. I know the difference between perfect and not perfect. something can be 19 and not perfect. It still might work, but I don't know that until it opens and starts trading. If it sets up, I'll take it. I back off my risk a little bit. But you know what? I'm not jumping all over that thing with crazy, crazy size. It has to prove itself to me, which it might do. It might start trading, set up, and work, and then I might get money out of it right away. It's the first play. And then the second play sets up perfectly, like that WFT did today. Now, that was a better rated gap, but something could set up perfectly, in which case, then yes. Then I'm taking it, you know, the second trade. After I made money in the first trade, I'm doing what I normally do, and then I'm taking my risk, and I'm doing it, and then maybe everything works out beautifully. But I'm just telling people at 19, sometimes they don't work. And I don't call them tier 1 or tier 2 because everything, it just rates well or it doesn't rate well. I'm not doing any gap at all under 19. I'm just not doing it at all, and they flat out don't work. In fact, I rated some gaps on Monday. One rated 15 and one rated 14, and sure enough, it was flop city. Flop, 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 flop and chop, and they didn't work right. Could you have made money shorting it? Maybe. If you were like, you know, I don't know how you could have, because nothing made any sense that it did. But that's the whole point. When I say that something rates well, it does all the things that I'm teaching you that it does. Therefore, it makes it easy for you. Remember, you can make money shorting or going long some anything at any time during the day. But how do you know that it's going to work all the time that way? You don't. Unless you are doing it for a purpose and a reason, which is a gap, and it has to meet these criteria. And if it does, then it's going to set up one of these ways, and if it sets up one of those ways, then you take it. That's the reason the system works. It's because I picked it apart to find the things that make it work in the way that I'm teaching you how to play it. That's the beauty of it. There's lots of things you can make money in any given day, but they don't do that same thing all the time. Therefore, then the system isn't consistently profitable. Therefore, in the end, you're going to lose. The reason that this thing I figured out is so great is because if it meets the criteria and it sets up, it works. It's like you don't even have to worry about it. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I don't like to play things that are sloppy. I like to play things that are clean, and there's only certain things that work clean. Not everything works clean. Clean means you make money. Flop city means you're, jerking around. So I don't do the tier 1, tier 2. It's either great and I play it, or it's 19 and it's better watch it and be careful, or I don't take it at all. I just don't take it at all under 19. I won't even touch the thing. And then I always go back. I like to go back and look at them. I like to go back and say, was I right? Was I wrong? Did I do something, or did I miss this? No. And I inevitably, I always go back and I say these entries were awful, and I would have lost money if I played this because nothing worked right, and thank God I didn't. No, I looked at that. It didn't rate good enough for me. It wasn't good enough for me. I didn't even see how it ended on the day. Let's quick look at it. I looked at it in the morning. I said, this isn't good enough for me. I don't even know what it ended up doing. Let's look at it quick. But I didn't like it. I rated GWW. Tom, do you have any gaps that you want me to look at tonight quick? I'll just look at here. That for after hours right now. If you got 3 hours, that's something good for you. Let me look at it. I didn't even go back to it then. See, that's the thing. I know, like, for me, like, I want to make, like, I want to be able to really, I want to make the $1 to $8 amount of risk. Like, I want to make a lot more, like, and that's why my system's so tough. Let's just look at this TSI. Forget Cisco. What about Moss? STSI rallied up the first bar of the day. Let's see. Oh, I know why I didn't take this. I don't have it available to short. You had this available to short? That was the one reason, and the pre-market data, I think for some reason, was the pre-market data enough shares, enough volume? Yeah, it looks like it was. I didn't have it available to short. In fact, I'm looking at this one now. I don't even know if I rated it. I don't even remember. Let's just see. I don't think I would have done this. I don't think I would have done this even if I had rated it. I don't think I would have done it because I don't like seeing a bottoming tail with a green head to start out my day. If you had taken the first entry here, you would have either had to take it right off here, or let's see if it went over the high of the day. Did it? Yeah, it did. It went over the high of the day. I wouldn't have done this. Good for you if you made money in it, but I would not have done it. Oh, no, wait a minute. This is the 13th. Let me go back to the 12th. This is the wrong day. Hold on, I was on the wrong day. Yeah, I would not have done this. Here's the reason why. I don't like things that, this is what I call a reverse swoosh. I don't like things that bounce like this in the first 5 minutes of the day. I won't say I'll never take them, but I have to have a lot of conviction in the gap if it has this kind of bounce. This is now in an uptrend to me all the way into this time frame. This is a lot of green bars for me. I don't mind a rally, but this looks like a pretty hard bounce to me up here. 224, 185, that's 35 cents. That's more than half the move this stock will even ever do in a day. Remember, it's only a $2 stock. I wouldn't have shorted this. Good for you. If it worked, it looks like it did set up for itself. I wouldn't have done it because I might have done this play right here, would have gotten stopped out, and would have been off of it when it blew up over the high of the day because I would have lost conviction in it with this kind of rally. The first setup was here, but it didn't hold. It did rally up here. You can't take it here. You can't take it here after it does this. Where do you take it? You take it right here. After it bases out and proves itself. Or you can take it over here. But this is very late for me to be trading. It did prove itself, though, before 10 o'clock. I always say, if something can prove it's going to work before 10 a.m., it's clean. Meaning it's clear to go. It's clear sailing. You can feel like you can take it. But if it doesn't set its trend by 10 o'clock, that it's going to set up on the day and work and hold this high of the day and not go any farther up, not keep rallying, you've got to make sure that it holds. If it holds before 10, you're okay. It did do that, so you were fine, and it looks like you got it. You got it in the 2 minute. What time did you get in though? Tom, is there nothing else besides Moss? Is Moss down tonight? Okay, let's just look at my minute here. If I get a rally like that in something, I have to have like 1,000,000% conviction in doing it. Here's the 2 minute. I just wouldn't have liked it, but I mean, it did work. It held itself before 10 o'clock. I didn't have it available to short though. That's why I never looked at it and rated it. Anyways, here, you can't get in there. You can't do it. And it would have gone up here. You would have gotten concerned at this far unless you waited for it to hold. And you would have taken it here. Here is a safer entry. You would have gotten the same price here, actually, looks like. 216. And what did they go down to? Did they go down the low of the day? Yeah, so you got 36 cents out of it. And with a nice stop, 2 cent stop, 3 cent stop here, you could have played it short. Yeah, it looks like it was there. Once these stocks start getting down in the $2 range, I just can't get them. I can't get them to short. I was lucky I got Groupon on Friday. And I had to request it. And I was lucky I got it. So you were lucky that you got this. You got a nice play out of it for sure. All right, let's really go quick and look at tonight. NOS. I hope there's something good. Let's see. I'm not crazy about this. I like it. I'll rate it if I don't have anything else in the morning, but I'm not crazy about this right now. Is that it, Tom? Is there anything else? There's a bunch of stuff coming out tomorrow morning. Tonight, was there HD tonight? Is there earnings out in HD tonight? This is not good enough for me. has been falling. Now it's falling even more. I'm not saying it's long. I'm just saying I don't have a lot of conviction that this is going to be clean to play as a short. No, wait a minute. UBNT, is that tonight? UBNT, let's look at that, and then we'll look at, is HD? Is this real? That was real, but I don't know if that's real. I have like one tick over here. Did this have earnings out? I don't see really anything unless it starts actually trading. What's the other one, HD? Oh, look at HD today. Woo, look at that. All right, let's quick look at this and see if it did a swoosh in the morning. Beautiful. See, you don't get in these things right away. You miss them. You do not get in then. No other better entry here. Then you got to take it on the 1 minute buy here. Otherwise, you don't get in. Stop under the low of the day. 62.48. It ran up $1 in the first 6 minutes. There's your entry right over there, 62.49. You take it up $1. I'd be out here completely out of my position, and I get $1 move like that in 5 minutes. Then you know what you're going to do? You retake it right here. Retake it, and you get another push up. I'd be out into the next reversal time unless I want it. I'd be out half the next reversal time, and then you take the half, rest of the target. I don't even know what the target was in this day. Let's look at the daily chart. What was the target on this? Oh, is that all-time highs today? Whoa, that was a good trade today. That was a good trade today. Huh. You see, though, how it got to where the highest point and did the whole move, though, in the morning? You see that the whole move was done here in this one by 10:15? It never went higher in the day there. So if you don't learn how to play these first couple minutes of the day, you miss these things. And at worst case, you missed the best price you could have gotten it. Yeah, look at that. This is a swoosh. This is a swoosh. A swoosh in the right direction you want to go, which is long for this stock. And it absolutely did it. Okay, great. Does anybody have any questions? And then we're done for the night. I know I went a little bit over an hour, but does anybody have any questions about anything, about the class, about the trading room I'm going to do, anything at all? Now that is an actual swoosh in the direction. A swoosh is a hard, fast, quick, immediate movement of a stock in the first 5 minutes of the day that gives you directional bias for the stock on the day. If you want to go long, you want to see a swoosh up, which is green. If you want to go short, you want to see a swoosh down, which is red. If you want to go short, you do not want to see a green swoosh up. That's a reverse swoosh. So then you stay away. Follow me? Okay, great. Email me if you guys want the information for the trading room. And we'll go from there. Does anybody else have any other questions?